All right, Shalom, Shalom. Let's get right to it. We're going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Shah, Shalom to the apostles, brothers, and elders in Great Millstone. Shalom to the hope of the elect. Shalom to the title with the wicked shall be punished. Right, the wicked shall be punished. We're going to get right into it. Let's go in a couple more. We're going to get right into this. Um, let's go to Numbers 33, Numbers 35, verse 30. So should not pollute the land within you are, for the blood is defiled the land, and the land cannot be clean of the blood that is shared therein, but by the blood of him that shared it, right? By the blood of him that shared it, verse 34. Defile not, therefore, the land which you should inhabit within, and I dwell for the Lord, dwell among the children of Israel, right? Dwell among the children of Israel. Numbers 35, verse 33, it says, should not pollute the land within you are, but the blood is defiled the land, and the land cannot be clean of the blood that is that therein. Oh no, it said the blood that is shed therein by the blood of him that shared it, right? By the blood of. So it said the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shared therein, but by the blood of him that shared it, right? So Psalms chapter 7, Psalm chapter 7, verse 11. Psalm chapter 7, verse 11. Psalm chapter 7, verse 11. It said, the Most High judged the righteous, and the Most High is angry with the wicked every day. Right. The Most High is angry with the wicked every day. As we get again, Psalm chapter 7, verse 11. The Most High judged the righteous, and the Most High is angry with the wicked every day. Right. He's angry with the wicked every. Oh, okay, let's move on. Let's see what else we got. Proverbs chapter 11, verse 21. No, I think it's 6. Oh, wrong one. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 16. Where is it? Let me see. Yes, go to Proverbs 6, verse 15. Therefore, should his calamity come suddenly, should he be broken without remedy? There are 6 things that the Lord hate, yet 7 are abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and a hand that shed innocent blood, a heart that devour wickedness, wicked, like a wicked, an imagination, foot that be swift and run to mischief. A false witness that speaks lies, and him that sword discords among brothers. Right. Let's go to Proverbs 6, verse 16. There are 16 the Lord hate, yet 7 are abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, a hand that shed innocent blood. Proverbs 11, verse 21. Proverbs 11, verse 21. Thy hand join in hand, the wicked should not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. Right? The seed of the righteous shall be delivered. No, Proverbs 11, verse 21. The hand join in hand, the wicked should not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. Right? The seed of the righteous. So let's go right into it. First time to come on.
They beat him and they stabbed him and they hung him and they set him on fire.
They knew in advance what was going to happen.
Their decision to take him away from the safety of Baltimore City was a tragic mistake.
They didn't think a black man's life was worth anything.
Like the rest of the country, the 1930s were a difficult time in Maryland.
With the Depression, families, and it didn't matter whether they were black or white, most people were in dire economic straits.
And in the 30s, the Eastern Shore was predominantly agricultural and absolutely segregated. Jim Crow was alive and well in the 30s on the shore.
The threat to blacks on the shore was magnified by anger over the case of Ewell Lee, a black man also known as Orphan Jones. In January of 1932, Lee was convicted of murdering a white family of 4 in Berlin. Lee's lawyer was Bernard Adas, a communist from Baltimore. He not only got Lee's original conviction reversed, but managed to drag the case on for years, infuriating whites.
He was despised on the lower shore, even though he was a tremendously effective defense attorney for his client.
In October of 1933, the Lee case was still unresolved when an elderly woman named Mary Denston said she was attacked by a black man while walking home near Princess Anne. She said she didn't know her assailant, but would be able to identify him among 1,000. Word of the attack spread quickly. Soon, hundreds of men from 3 counties joined the manhunt. The man they were hunting was George Armwood, a 22-year-old farm worker who lived near Pocomoke City.
My grandmother's name is Mary Armwood. You know, it was her family, it was her relative, and she was there.
Tina's grandmother had fond memories of her cousin.
And he would come by a lot, and he seemed like a really nice guy. He was always smiling. He was very friendly, and she said he used to whistle a lot.
When he was 15, George left school to live and work with a white man on a nearby farm. Armwood, the Afro learned, was reared by a white family and recognized by many to be feeble-minded and a fit subject for a psychopathic ward. He was not put in one because, in spite of his mental infirmity, or because of it, he was a good workman and an inexpensive one. Even before Mrs. Denston had a chance to identify him, Armwood was named as her attacker. It's not clear why.
I'm not sure that Armwood committed a crime at all. From what we know, and the fact that he was described as being dim-witted, I'm not sure if he committed a crime. When you're looking for someone to blame for something, you find a scapegoat. The weakest victim, the weakest person you can find, and you choose that person.
Whatever the reason, Armwood was a wanted man. The search intensified, and the next day, an armed posse entered the Armwood home, demanding to know where George was.
And then they started threatening them, telling them that if, they didn't give him up and if they knew where he was, that they would hurt all of them. Eventually, they seen him being drugged out of the woods. And she said that they pulled him out and they were beating on him. And then they tied him to the back of a car and made him walk.
In a time of anxiety and anger, Armwood's capture was like lighting a fuse.
The Yulee case was still very much in the headlines, but here comes George Armwood, another African American accused of a crime against a white woman.
They had just lynched Matt Williams 2 years prior to. And then also the people in Worcester County were still in uproar because what happened to Orr Lee, called Orphan Jones, because it took 2 years before he was brought to justice, and they wanted it to happen immediately.
Armwood was first taken to the Princess Anne jail, but fearing trouble, police took him to the Wicomico jail in Salisbury, the very place where Matthew Williams was lynched not 2 years earlier. As news of Armwood's capture spread, angry crowds began to gather. It was clear he wasn't safe in Salisbury either, so Governor Albert Ritchie ordered state police to take Armwood away from the shore altogether. Just as Armwood was let out the back door, the mob burst through the front. From Salisbury, Armwood was taken first to Cecil County and then to the Baltimore City Jail, where it was reported he signed a confession. In Baltimore, Armwood was out of the reach of shore mobs, but the respite was short-lived.
Judge Robert Dewar ordered that Armwood be returned to the Somerset County Jail after he had been assured by Sheriff Luther Daugherty and by State's Attorney John Robbins that they had everything under control. I could not understand why Judge Dewar would do such a thing because he was a circuit court judge. He wasn't a law enforcement officer. I found out later from his granddaughter that Judge Dewar was up for re-election the next fall.
Robbins told Ritchie the danger of violence had passed. He said Somerset County is law-abiding and peaceful. Judge Dewar also assured the governor, but he may have been more concerned with assuring his constituents.
Judge Dewar realized that if he didn't bring Armwood back, it would be considered a repudiation of his own community. So to his shame, he had him come back.
Ritchie also faced re-election, so he agreed, and at 10 o'clock that night, a convoy of state police left Baltimore with Armwood in tow. When the sun came up on October 18th, George Armwood was sitting in a cell at the Princess Anne jail. Everyone on the shore knew it. His return was trumpeted in the papers and on the radio. Predictably, the jail attracted the curious and the furious. People arrived by the hundreds. The danger was clear and growing. The troopers who brought Armwood back stayed to guard the jail, but there were only 25, and the mob now numbered in the thousands. The American Legion refused to provide reinforcements, and Robbins refused to allow Armwood to be returned to Baltimore. Reports of unrest soon reached the governor. Again, Ritchie called Robbins and Dewar, and again, each man assured him that Armwood was safe. But with every minute, the mob was getting larger and more menacing. At 7 o'clock, Dewar went to the jail himself to talk to the angry crowd.
The judge confronted the mob and said, I know all of you. I know most of you. Now, let's just go home. We're going to try him and let the law take its course.
And there were shouts from the mob, well, what if ATIS comes over? There was this prevailing attitude in the lower shore that if something was not done quickly, this lawyer ATIS will do the same thing here that he did in Worcester County, and we're not going to have that.
After speaking to the mob, Dewar got back in his car and left for dinner, thinking the crisis was over. He was mistaken. No sooner had the judge left when the crowd advanced at the badly outnumbered troopers. As they surged forward, the police closed ranks at the jail entrance. Rocks and bricks started flying. The police answered with tear gas. The smoke had the desired effect, but was quickly dispersed by the wind, and the crowd, still growing in number and frenzy, pressed in. The police were armed but never fired a shot. Instead, there was hand-to-hand combat at the entrance. Some men brought heavy rails and rammed the gate repeatedly until it finally gave way at 8:30. A howl arose from the mob when the gate went down. Armwood was found hiding under the mattress in his cell on the second floor. He was dragged outside, a noose already around his neck. The frenzied mob taunted and beat the helpless prisoner. A boy of 18 cut Armwood's ear off and waved it around. It was described as a bloody carnival in which men, women, and even children took part.
Yes, it was a family affair. It wasn't just men, but it was women. And they knew in advance what was going to happen.
To show their contempt for Dewar, they dragged Armwood behind the truck to the judge's home, hoping to hang him there. One estimate put the size of the mob at 5,000 people, almost 6 times the population of Princess Anne itself. Finding no suitable tree at Judge Dewar's home, they chose a tall oak nearby. The mob shrieked as they yanked Armwood up and let him drop several times. Then they let him hang for 5 minutes. When they cut him down, Armwood was dead, but the spectacle wasn't over.
And they drug his body around for everyone to see. And then she says, I remember, them dragging his body through the neighborhood and, and everyone in the house, of course, crying and being really upset.
Finally, Armwood's body was dragged to the courthouse. It was doused with gasoline and set afire. The crowd was so deep, the police couldn't get through. A visitor described the stench of burning flesh, and a mob of men, women, boys, and girls dancing and singing around the burning body as if in celebration. The rope was cut into small pieces and given away as souvenirs. Armwood's charred body was finally dumped in front of a lumberyard, where it lay in the street for hours. It became an iconic image memorialized on the front page of the Afro-American newspapers. A young reporter named Clarence Mitchell Jr. was sent to the scene.
When we got down there,
So you see the perpetual hate they got you so-called Negro Latino man. Let's go back to that Proverbs 6 verse. Let's go back to that, man. You see, man, we know. I'm not gonna be in this one and get all into it. How much time we got? Okay, 11 minutes. We'll be ready to. Let's go to Proverbs 6 verse. Again, let's go back to this again. Proverbs chapter 6 verse. Let's go to Proverbs 6 verse 16. There are 6 things that the Lord hate, yet 7 are abomination unto him: a proud look, a lying tongue, the hand that shed innocent blood. Right, the hand that shed innocent blood. Let's just read it again. Proverbs chapter 6 verse 17. A proud look, a lying tongue, and the hand that shed innocent blood. All right, move on. Let's go to Isaiah. Isaiah 14. Verse 21. Isaiah 14, verse 21. It said, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their father. They do not rise to possess the land, nor fill the faces of the world with city. Right, prepare slaughter for his children, man. Verse 22, for I will rise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will cut off from Babylon the name and remember, and the son, nephew, saith the Lord. Right, Isaiah 14, verse 21. It said, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers. They do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill faces of the world with cities, right? Repair slaughter. What else do I got? Something like that. Let's go to Jeremiah 51. No. Let's go back. Jeremiah 49. Yeah. Verse 10. Jeremiah 49, verse 10. But I had made Esau bare, I had uncovered his secret place, and he shall not be able to hide himself, his seed is spoiled, and his brother and his neighbors, and he is not. Right? Jeremiah 49, verse 10 again, it said, But I had made Esau bare, I had uncovered his secret place, and he shall not be able to hide himself, his seed is spoiled, and his brother and his neighbor, and he is not. Jeremiah 51, verse 29. Jeremiah 51, verse 29. Was all right. Or is it 39? I think it's 39. Yeah, let's go. Which one we get then? Yeah. Jeremiah 51, verse 47. Therefore, behold, the day comes that I will do judgment upon the great. No, that's not what I want. No, I think it's Jeremiah 50. Yeah, I messed up. Jeremiah 50, verse. Yeah, Jeremiah 50, verse Jeremiah 50, verse 39. I forget. Oh, I think it's 29. Yeah. Yep, it's 29. Yep, Jeremiah 50, verse 29. Yeah. Yeah, Jeremiah 50, verse 29. The voice of them that flee escape out of the land of Babylon to declare in Zion the vengeance of the Lord, your power, the vengeance of his temple. Call together the arch against Babylon, and all you that bend the bow, camp against it round about. Let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her works, according to all that she hath done unto her. I don't know what it said. Let me see something. According to all that she have done unto her, for she had been proud against the Lord, against the Holy One of Israel, right? Against the Holy One of Israel. Behold, I'm against thee, O thou most proud, said the Lord, power of hosts. For the day is come, the time that I will visit thee, and the most proud should stumble and fall, and none should raise him up. And I will kindle a fire in the city, and it should devour all around about him. Verse 33. For thou said the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah was pressed together, and all of them took them captive, hold them fast, and refused to let them go. Jeremiah 50, verse 34. The Redeemer is strong, the Lord of hosts is his name. He should through the pleasant thou call, that he may give rest to the land, and disquiet the inhabit of Babylon. But that's all is it right there. Yeah. Let's move on. Jeremiah 51, verse 7. Jeremiah 51, verse 7. It said, Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand and made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunk of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Right? Babylon had been a golden cup. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. Let's go to Ezekiel. What? Ezekiel. We're going to get no limitation. Chapter 4, verse 22. Limitation 4, verse 22. The punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thy iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. Right? He will discover thy sins. Limitation 4, verse 22. The punishment of their iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thy iniquity, O daughter of Edom, and he will discover thy sins. Let's move on. I think it's Ezekiel 25, verse 12. Ezekiel 25, verse 12. 13. Ezekiel 25, verse 13. Therefore, thou said the Lord, power, I will stretch out my hand upon Edom, and I will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Tema, and thereof Dinner shall fall by the sword, and I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to my anger, according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord. Right? Shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord. Ezekiel 25, verse 14. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to my anger, according to my fury, according to And they, let me get again, I'm messing up. Ezekiel 25, verse 14. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to my anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, said the Lord. All right, what else I got? Just gonna go right into it. What's this? Habakkuk? I don't know if this is right here. What's the other one? What's this? Habakkuk 2:3-1. Bloody city. No, it ain't. It's the other one. I think it's the other one. Oh, it's Nahum. I'm saying that right. Got a couple more stitches to close it out. Yeah. Nahum chapter 3, verse 1. It says, woe unto the bloody city, it is full of lies and robbery, and the prey departed not. Right? The prey departed not. It says, woe unto the city, destruction. Nahum chapter 3, verse 1. It says, woe unto the bloody city, it is full of lies and robbery, and prey departed not. Right? Woe unto the bloody city, man. Woe unto the bloody city. Zechariah 2, verse 8. Zechariah 2, verse 8. For thou said the Lord of hosts, after glory, he has sent me into the nation, which spoil you. For he that touches you, touched the apple of his eye. Right, he that touches you, touched the apple of his eye. Zechariah chapter 2, verse 8. For thou said the Lord of hosts, after glory, he has sent me unto the nation which spoiled you. For he that touches you, touched the apple of his eye. Right. Let's go to Jeremiah. I forgot to get that. Jeremiah 30, verse 16. Jeremiah 30, verse 16. Therefore, all that devour thee shall be devoured, and all that adversary, every one of them shall go into captivity, and that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. Right? What I give for a prey. We did it again, right? Jeremiah 30, verse 16. Therefore, all that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thy adversary, every one of them shall go unto captivity, and that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. All right, for I give. All right, I got all that. Galatians 6, verse 7. Galatians chapter 6, verse 7. Be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Right? That shall he also reap. Verse 8. For he that soweth to the flesh, to his flesh, shall of the flesh reap corruption. But he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. Galatians 6, verse 7. Be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Right, that shall he also reap. And we get again, Galatians 6, verse 7 again. He said, be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Right, the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Revelation chapter 13, verse 9. Revelation chapter 13, verse 9. If any man have the ear, let him hear. He that leads to captivity should go into captivity. He that kill with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints, right? Revelation 13, verse 9. If any man have some ear, let him hear. He that lead into captivity should go into captivity. He that kill with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So, right, man, as you see, man. So, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna close out right there. So, as you see, man, who they leave with the captivity should go into captivity. Who should kill with the sword should be killed with the sword. So, yeah, man. So, I'm gonna close out right there. So, I'm gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Shema Bashar, double honor to the apostle, brothers, and elders, a great millstone, shalom to the hopeful elect. The wicked shall be punished, right? The wicked shall be punished. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.